Welcome to the press room at the Can't Hack It Pantywaist League Command Center. This week, our celebrity press secretary is none other than the Honorable Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Take it away, ma'am. Oh, it seems she has fallen asleep in the middle of her sentence. Hold on, sorry about this. I get the State of the Union all over again. We'll go ahead and move on and get this taken care of. Welcome to 8 in the Box. Owner of the week for week 7 was none other than Mr. Gear for his first time as owner of the week this season, but it won't be his last as he is turning things around big. For example, this week he made a move not only for the here and now, getting a new best friend in Diontae Johnson, but he also acquired for the future, picking up an RB1 who right now is on the IR. Will be a great keeper for 2021. So he's got Nick Chubb next season coming back for him strong, and this year he's got Diontae Johnson, the wide receiver 3 in week 7, helping him beat the number 3 seed at the time, Tom from MySpace, 101-72. Good week, owner of the week, Mr. Gear. That is Giovanni Bernard, if you're not sure and don't recognize. Move of the week is going to belong to him, taking over for Joe Mixon, putting up over 18 points. He's the RB7, 5 receptions, 96 total yards, and a touchdown. And who was it that made that move of the week? Well, that is Mr. Kirchler, the owner of Sundays of Thunder. He liked the move so much, Joe Mixon's still hurt. He's going to play him again in week 8. And rumor has it from beat writers in the area, he's beginning to grow out his own Giovanni Bernard. Performance of the week is going to go to 2 different players, but on the same team, both on Bud Wilborn's team. That is Matthew Stafford and TJ Hockenson. They did not play that well, honestly, for the whole game, but when it came down to the final drive of the game is where their performance stood above all others. Quick breakdown, with a minute left in the game, down by 6, we had a first play Matthew Stafford, incomplete pass, no point. 13-yard pass TJ Hockenson.
Hockenson trying to get out of bounds.
Spiked the ball. He threw 20 yards to Danny Amendola. Almost another point. Spiked the ball. 29-yard gain to Kenny Golladay. Over a point. Spiked the ball. 3 seconds left in the final play of the game. Down 6. Stafford connects to TJ Hockenson for 11-yard touchdown.
Moment to fall on your shoulders. What kind of pressure do they put on Matthew Stafford? He has time.
All in total, what that do for Bud Wilborn's team? Added 16, almost 16 and a half points on the final drive of the game of his starting quarterback and his starting tight end. Bud Wilborn won by 11 and a half points. It's to show you how important that last final drive was. We can also say performance of the week for Bud Wilborn's turn with Todd Gurley, giving Detroit the ball back on Sunday, but we'll give credit to where credit's due to those 2 players. Obviously, a loss would have dropped Bud's team to 3-4, giving him a 5% chance of advancing to the playoffs, but instead he's 4-3 in 7th place and looking like he is on the path to the postseason. Big performance there by those players on the Bud Wilborn team. High scorer of the week goes to our first repeat offender of 2020. This owner was the high scorer back in week 3, putting up 165 points. In an exclusive interview we had with him this week, he had told us that after that week 3 triumph of high score, he said he was willing to do whatever it took to get it again. And this included foregoing and ignoring all other responsibilities in his life. Well, I think it worked out as he was the week 7 high scorer. And it looks like, yeah, he might be missing some of those other things he's supposed to be doing, but he did achieve what he was going for. So congratulations, I'm a Kittle Stitious, the week 7 high score, also posting the highest score of a 2020 in an individual week at 197.5 points. All right, on to our Can't Hack It Pantywaist League history for the week. We are going streaking. Postseason streaks. We're going to go over our active postseason streaks and our all-time streaks. First with the all-time. As you can see there, since 2012, we've had the Corbett franchise, Cotton, Brink, Kirsch, and the Myers franchise all with 2-year streaks back-to-back making the postseason. At the bottom there, we have the Doom franchise tied for the longest in CHIPL history of 3 years. He did it from 2015 to 2017. One side note, is that the Myers franchise was not in the league. They're absent from the league in 2016 and 2017. The gap there between that 2015 2018 break. So those are our all-time streaks. And then our active streaks, there are two right now. The first there is the Myers franchise has done it back-to-back years, trying to go for their third straight this year in 2020, which would tie the current all-time record in CHIPL history. But that record is up to the Corbett franchise right now. They've done it 3 straight years, trying to make it 4 this year in 2020. They currently sit at 3 and 4, so the chances are slim, but there still are good odds that they can get it, just a couple wins away, and you turn around to take that the 4-year straight postseason streak, the first we have ever seen in the Can't Hack It Pantywaist League. All right, matchup of the week this week is actually matchups of the week. We have 2 to talk about. And why is there 2? Because we have matchups between 3 and 4 and 4 and 3 teams, 2 of them. And the reason this is such a big week for those 2 teams, it's going to separate either making the pack closer to a smaller postseason race, or it's going to extend it and get 2, 3, and 4 teams back in the race. First, we have Team Rimjob at Team Ramrod. Corbett is 1-0 all-time versus Barnett. They beat them last year 118-97. And then we have the Gillen franchise playing at the Clark franchise. That's Hey Darnold at Mac Lives Matter. Gillen is 4-3 all-time versus Clark, including 3 straight wins dating back to 2008. So what happens here is if those 3 and 4 teams wins, we're going to have 11 teams most likely out of our 14 that are 4 and 4 or better. If the 4 and 3 teams win, they're going to add a little more space between them, kind of making it a 9-team race. So big week for both, or for all 4 of those franchises, but definitely for the 3 and 4 teams to get back into the postseason race. Speaking of that, this is what our playoff picture looks like. It is the same 8 teams as last week. We got Doomsday at number 1. I'm Kittlestitious, Sports Illustrated, Team Ramrod, Tom from MySpace.com, Sundays of Thunder, Bud Wilborn's team, and there in the A spot we have Mac Lives Matter. Here are your triple history percentage teams have made it with those records. 6-1, you're pretty much in. 5-2, looking good. 4-3, still got great odds. 3 and 4 has made it before, and any record below has never made the postseason at this point in the season, but there's always the first. And here's your strength of schedule going forward. Doomsday and Hey Darnold with the toughest schedule remaining. And then Mac Lives Matter down there with the easiest schedule remaining, sitting in that 8 seed already. So they should feel pretty good about what they have going on, especially if they could ever get Christian McCaffrey back here, hopefully, in week 9. All right, so our info center, obviously down there at the bottom, you'll see our teams on bye this week, the Cardinals, the Texans, the Jaguars, and the Washington former Redskins, now Washington football team. So take those players out of your lineup. And the trade deadline is getting closer each and every week. Currently sitting 16 days away. November 14th, don't forget it. Joe Cool tells you, get out and trade. All right, well, that'll do us here. Now, we are sorry that Ruth Ginsburg did have to leave. Actually, she went to sleep and we couldn't wake her up. Hopefully she's okay, but that's okay. We found a replacement, someone that I think is even better. So we would like to say hello and thank you to Justice Amy Coney Barrett for stepping in and finishing the job and probably doing a better finish than we could have expected. Let's go to week 8.